All right, how's it going, seventh graders? Long time no see. This assignment is due Monday, June 8th, and we're going to be talking about plot point diagrams today and how to read them and how to make sense of them. This is going to be the last 2 weeks of our sampling probability unit. We're probably going to have an end of the year test in about 2 weeks, like a sort of a final that'll cover all the probability stuff that we did. But this is now a plot point diagram, so I'm going to explain it, and there's two things that you're going to have to figure out on the document for the assignment on Monday. All right, so I have team 1 here, I have team 2 here. I've got a range of, let's call these heights. All right, I mean, they could be anything. A plot point could be, this is the number, number of whatevers. I mean, this could be anything. You could put a plot point with anything. But in our example, we're going to do heights, okay, from 70 inches to 79 inches. And this is team 1, and this is team 2. And then the blue dots, represent players, okay? So for instance, this dot means that there's one player on team 2 who's 75 inches tall, right? One player on team 2 that's 76 inches tall. There are two players, two dots, that are 77 inches tall, and three dots on team 2 that are 78 inches tall, and then 179. Same thing with this. There are three players on team 1 that are 71 inches tall. Two at 70, two at 72, and 173. So the blue dots represent the number of players. So if I asked you a question like how many players are on team 2, you would just count up the blue dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 players on team 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on. So if I asked you, how many players are on each team, 8 players on each team. You can see that. All right. If I asked you which team had the taller players or the shorter players, you could look at the plot diagram and see that team 2, most of the players are taller than team 1. Okay, so you can see that just from just from looking at it. You don't have to count anything. If I said to you, how many players are 74 inches tall on either team? Well, team 1 has no players that are 74 inches tall, and team 2 has no players that are 74 inches tall. So the answer to that question would be 0. If I said, how many players on both teams are 76 inches tall? Well, there's nobody on team 1 that's 76 inches tall, but there is one player on team 2. So the answer would be 1. If I said, how many players on team 1 are 71 inches tall? You would just go to team 1 and you would see that there's 3. So the answer would be 3. Okay, now the two things that we're going to talk about is range and mean. That's two of the things that are going to be on the document for the assignment. The range means what's the lowest to the highest. It literally means the range of heights in this instance. So if I said, what is the range of heights on team 2, you would look at the very lowest, and you would see that 75 is the lowest, and it goes all the way up to 79. There's a player on 79. So the range would be 75 to 79, and you could either say this is the range, or you could say, no, that's it. So this is what I prefer. So this is what you would say. You would say 75 to 79, or you could say 75 to 79 if you wanted to type in the word to. If I said, what is the range of heights of team 1, you would see that it starts at 70 and goes up to 73. That would be the range, okay? The range. Right? This is the range. If I asked you which team had the greater range of heights, you would see that team 1 goes from 75 to 79. So 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, a range of 5. So this is a range of 5 on team 2. Team 1 is 70, 71, 72, and 73. Their range is only 4, right? And you can see it right here. The range is 4. Here the range is 5. So if I asked you which team had the greater range of heights, the answer would be team 2. Okay? So that's range. And the last thing we're going to cover today is the mean. All right. The mean, spelled like this, just like the word being not nice to somebody, except it means something different in statistics and probability. So the mean means the average, okay? Mean is the same thing as the average. And in order to get the average of something, you have to add up all the different numbers, and then you have to divide it by the number of players. Okay? So, if I wanted to know the average height of team 2, I would have to add up 75 plus 76 plus 77 twice, because there's 2 77s, plus 78 1, 2, 3 times, plus 79 once. Okay? So I encourage you to use a calculator or your cell phone. So let's say I ask, what is the mean height of team number 2? All right, so I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'm going to do 75 plus 1 for 76 plus, I'm going to type in 77 twice, right? 77 plus 77. And now I'm going to type in 78 3 times, plus 78 plus 78 plus 78. And then finally, I'm going to type in 79 1 time, plus 79. And my total is 618. So my total is 618. Okay, that's my total for all of these. But I'm not finished yet. The last step is you have to divide this number by the number of players. And the number of players is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So 618 divided by 8 gives you 77.25. Okay? I took the total after adding all these up and divided it by the number of players, which is 8, and I got 77.25. So that means the average height of the players on team 2 is 77.25 inches. And that's how you get the mean. So one more time, you add each of the numbers up, and where there's 2 dots, you got to add it twice. Where there's 3 dots, you got to add it 3 times. Okay? And then you divide this number after you total it all up, adding, not multiplying, adding. Then you divide that by the number of players, which in this case is 8 players. You count up the blue dots. Okay? All right, guys, good luck. And I will see you soon.